Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Faith and I am a full-time clothing reseller on apps like Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about one of my passive income strategies as a reseller. I actually did one of these videos a while back and I primarily focused on my ThreadUp strategy, but you guys commented and said that you wanted to hear a little bit more of how I utilize Flyp in this strategy, so that's exactly what I'm going to be doing in today's video. Flyp actually saw that first video and reached out to me and asked if I wanted to do a collaboration on my follow-up video talking about how I utilize Flyp in my reselling business. So I am super excited to announce that today's video is sponsored by Flyp and it's my first sponsorship, so I'm so excited. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like it or learn anything new today. It really helps the YouTube algorithm push out my video so this video can get more views, and also it helps my channel grow. Alright, let's get into the video. Okay, so what is Flyp? If you're not familiar, Flyp is a platform that partners resellers with people who are looking to sell their clothes. So when you download the app, you can choose whether or not you want to be a pro seller. That's what they call the resellers on the app. So essentially that would mean that you are getting sent inventory that you then sell on the platforms like Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari, and you just kind of integrate it into your reselling business. So it's a great way to get literally inventory for free, which is awesome. Or what I do is send in inventory to other resellers who sell my items for me. I absolutely love this side stream of income in my business because I have amazing inventory in my area, and I wish that I could pick all of it up because I know that there is, you know, profitability in these items. However, I have a very specific profit per item goal, and I also am very picky about how I use my time, and a lot of times I don't want to be using that on processing inventory. I'd rather be using it sourcing. And on top of that, I live in an apartment, so I literally don't even have the space to hold all that inventory and be a volume seller even if I wanted to. I think in a reselling business, you either have time and capacity limitations or you have capital limitations. The really cool thing about Flyp is it can solve either one of those problems for you. You can do what I do and send inventory to other resellers, which solves the time and the space problem, or you can be a pro seller and receive the inventory from other people, and you're getting, first of all, free inventory with no money up front, so that reduces a lot of risk, and you don't have to have any money to start up, or you're not having money leave your business for inventory, which is huge. Or maybe you just don't like sourcing, so you're getting that, you know, just sent directly to your door, so you're saving all that time on sourcing and doing something that you don't like. And on top of that, you're kind of helping the other person out. So this platform really connects people to help each other out based off of where they live and their strengths and their businesses, so we can all work together and help us, you know, make the most out of our reselling. Okay, so now I'll share a little bit on how Flyp fits into my reselling strategy. I'm sure you've probably picked up, if you've seen any of my videos, that I'm huge on optimizing my time and opportunities and also finding ways to get passive income in my business. I say passive income because it's really not passive, but it's as passive. It's the most passive thing really in reselling, because when you are sending things into places like Flyp or to ThreadUp, you are just initially sourcing the inventory and then you're sending it off, and all the rest of the work is being taken care of for you. The photographing, the listing, the selling, you know, sending offers and sharing your closet and all that, and then also the shipping. So in my opinion, that's like the majority of the work, and it's being taken off your shoulders, and all those sales are then going to passively start coming into your bank account, all off of the initial work that you put into it at the beginning. So that's kind of why I feel like I can get away with calling it passive income. But that is why I love using Flyp in my business, because while I'm already outsourcing for items that I'm going to be listing myself in my business, I'm also going to be finding items that I can send into buy-sell trade stores, send into ThreadUp, and also send off to Flyp for other resellers to sell for me. I don't have employees or a VA or anything like that, so Flyp is a great way for me to kind of have employees in a way, still working on my business while I'm not working on my business. That's huge when you want to take time off, but you need to still be making money. It's a great way to still have some kind of money flowing into your business without you physically having to put in the work if you're not able to ship because you're away for a long period of time, not able to photograph, all that good stuff. Also, if you have a death pile and you have a sourcing addiction, now here's your way to make the most of your sourcing addiction. You can help other resellers get inventory and have that stuff not sitting in a pile, but generating money for you, because your inventory is literally just losing value while it's sitting in a pile. So you might as well send it off to someone else if you're too overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that you have to list. It's better to keep things moving. So I would definitely opt for that than to just sit around and wait for you to have like the motivation or the time to tackle that death pile. I think death piles are like the death of your business. That was super dramatic, but I definitely think you'd be better off sending it off and having someone help you with all of those tasks than having items just sit unlisted. If you did watch that original video, then you probably already know that when I'm sourcing for inventory for Flyp, I'm doing it at the bins. I live in an area with a very high cost of goods, so I really can't do regular thrift stores for sourcing for Flyp because pro sellers take, usually I found that the average pro seller takes about 50%, which they should. They're doing, honestly, I think more work than you are, so I think 50% is more than fair. But because you are sharing the profits with someone else, you want to make sure that your cost of goods are as low as possible. Like I mentioned, my profit per item goals are pretty high, and a lot of times I'm not finding those kinds of items at the bins. I do every once in a while, but it's not enough to make my trip worth it for just that purpose alone. So when I'm at the bins, I'm also sourcing, like I mentioned, to trade into buy-sell trade stores, send into ThredUp, and then sourcing for Flyp. I do have a couple of other videos talking about what I source specifically for buy-sell trade stores, and I definitely touched in that first video mostly on ThredUp. So you guys can go back, I'll put those in the description so you can watch those next. But in today's video, I'm just going to talk about what I'm sourcing for Flyp specifically. The main thing that you have to keep in mind when you are sourcing for Flyp, or if you already have inventory and you're sending it to other people, is that these sellers are selling on the exact same platforms that you are. They are also selling on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. So if there's not a high demand on those marketplaces, those pro sellers are going to, you know, have the same opportunity and the same customer base as you would selling it yourself. So there's no like magic touch that these sellers are going to have as far as like an advantage on like the places that they're selling. They're doing the work for you, but they don't have access to a whole different customer base as you would on ThredUp, for example. But that does kind of take some of the risk out of it, because if you are a reseller, then you already kind of have an idea of what's in demand on these platforms and what brands sell, you know, better than others. Flyp typically only accepts higher end brands like designer brands or high-end mall brands. So some examples of high-end mall brands that I send in and have had success sending in to resellers on Flyp are Lululemon, Madewell, I guess Free People's not a mall brand, but Free People's good, J. Crew, Nike, brands like that. I think a huge opportunity out there is in men's clothing. So I'm sure a lot of you, majority probably who watch my videos, primarily focus on selling women's clothing in their reselling business. However, when you're out sourcing, especially at the bins, I'm sure you come across a lot of really awesome men's like bread and butter items. I do sell men's if it's like a really quick Flyp item that I know for sure, like, oh, that's an awesome item, I'm gonna pick that up, and I sprinkle them in every here and again. But I would never have interest in doing like a separate men's closet, or, you know, doing both men's and women's. I mean, some of you might do that, but I'm sure a lot of you also do the same, approach it in the same way that I do. So there is a huge chunk of the market that's being left out of your like target base when you're selling items, and this is a huge way to fill that gap. If I lived by the bins, I would like hop on this so hard, but I don't. I live an hour away, so unfortunately I can't do this as much as I'd want to. But sometimes when I'm at the bins, I source a ton of men's items, and I do lots I send to Flyp are compiled of all men's clothing. And I think that's a huge way that you can optimize your business even more than you probably already are. Okay, so now let's walk through exactly how the process works and how to get started selling on Flyp. So you are gonna have all of your items, and then you take pictures of your items, just a really quick like snapshot. It doesn't have to be like professional style photos that you would do for like your own listings. And then you just include the brand, the condition, and the size, and then you fill up they're called lots. So you have to have a minimum of 5 items, and you can have a max of 30 items. I would suggest trying to hit the max of 30 items if you can, but I mean, I understand that's, not always gonna be doable. So next, you're going to submit your lots to Flyp, and they're gonna look over all the items that you are looking to send off. They are primarily looking at the brands that you're sending to see if they're on the approved brands list. Like I said, I'll put a screenshot of kind of some of the brands that they're looking for. They do have this on the app, so you can go back and reference it, but they're looking for designer, not like designer, but like designer, mid-tier designer, and then high-end mall brands. So no like Shein, Old Navy, that kind of stuff, but they do accept brands like Madewell, J. Crew, like I said. If something's not accepted, they will notify you in the app, and then you'll just remove that item from your lot, and then you can choose to add something else in, or you can just delete it and move on and then submit your lot again, and you'll have to keep going through the process to get reviewed until it's accepted, but if you fix everything the first time, then you should be good to go. So once your lot is accepted, then you will be matched with a pro seller. So this process takes about like 2 business days. 1 business day to be for your lot to be approved by Flyp, and then another business day for you to be partnered with a pro seller. Once you are partnered, the pro seller is going to give you price estimates. They have 24 hours to provide the price estimates to you so that you can get an idea for how much they think they can sell your items for. You also have an opportunity to do a little bit of an internet search. All of their information is public. Their Poshmark Closet, eBay account, or whatever platforms they sell on. So you can kind of see what their experience is, how their pictures look, what kind of items they're selling, and how much they're selling for. So I definitely would do your due diligence and vet out the reseller that you're partnered with. I've never had a problem, but you never know. I just would do your research, and then if you are good with the price estimate and you're good with the seller that you're matched with, then you can go ahead and partner with them. Oh, also I need to mention about the price estimates, definitely go through and see if you're okay with that, but there's also an option for the reseller to buy out your lot. That is huge. Again, if I lived by the bins, I would be cranking those out like nobody's business. I think that is, like, if you lived by a bins and you source primarily at the bins, what an awesome opportunity to like sell, almost wholesaling inventory. Like, what? You can literally get an immediate payout on that inventory. It's kind of like reseller boxes, except 20 times better, because the seller can actually see what kind of inventory is in the boxes, and there's no like way to scam anyone. It's all official and legit. So definitely, if you live by the bins, I would hop all over that. Like I mentioned, most pro sellers that I've partnered with take 50%, which in my opinion, I think that is more than fair. They're doing, in what I think, most of the legwork. So I think 50% is very fair. And if you're looking to be a reseller and to be getting inventory from other people, I would recommend making sure that you have a minimum of 50%. That's just what I think would make it worth your time as well. Flyp also has a 5% platform fee. So if an item sells for $100, the pro seller, the person selling your items, is going to take $50. Then Flyp will take $5, and then you would get $45. That was kind of a high-end example. I honestly typically make around $5 to $20 an item, but again, it's more like a volume sales, and it's on stuff that I was having as like a side stream of income, and I was sourcing while I was out sourcing other things. So I'm not really expecting to get rich off of this by any means, but if you are doing this consistently and doing it more than I am, you can make a lot of money doing this as like a side stream in your business. Also, if you wanted to send in higher stuff, you totally could. I mean, essentially, you could source and send everything to someone else to sell and literally just be the sourcing person if you wanted to. You technically could run a whole business just sending inventory to other people selling, and then you collecting, part of the check. So once you are you have your pictures done, your lot is approved, and you partner with this reseller, you're going to box everything up. There is a $9 flat shipping fee, and you don't have to pay it up front. You send it off to the seller, and after they make their first sale, the $9 is taken out of your earnings. So really it's just taken out of like future earnings, and you don't have to put any money up front, which is awesome. So there's a 90-day consignment window after you send your items off. So after 90 days, anything that hasn't sold, there's a couple of options that you can do. You can either extend the selling window so that it gives them a little bit more time to sell the remainder of your items. They can buy out your inventory and you guys can decide on a price of what the buyout cost would be, or they can return the items back to you and you don't have to pay any additional shipping as the consignor. If you do want your items back, you don't have an additional shipping charge or anything. There is so much potential for Flyp to optimize your business and alleviate any of the pain points that you have. Like I said, people have a variety of pain points based off of what they enjoy to do in their business, their strengths, and honestly, where you live is a huge factor in that as well. I know I talked a lot about sending your inventory to other resellers in this video, but the potential and the opportunity to be a pro seller is honestly huge too. Having no capital up front for inventory and basically getting free inventory sent to your door is like insane. So if you have that problem, this really is a huge opportunity for you, especially if you want to get started in reselling, but maybe you don't want to invest capital and risk it in finding your own items and maybe making bad buys, or if you just want to start and you don't want to invest any money just because you don't want to, then like this is a great way to learn what sells and learn what doesn't sell without having to risk any of your own money. And then also maybe you're like strapped for cash right now, or you don't want to drain money out of your business for a certain reason. You want to like grow your capital and you need to take some strain off of the finances in your business. Doing this consignment option is such a great way to get free inventory with no investment up front. My friend Brittany at Essential Endeavors made a video that goes in deep detail about being a pro seller. She has experience with doing it, so I'll link that in the description down below so you can watch that video if you want to learn more about how that end works of it. I don't personally have experience, so I'm not going to talk in depth about it, but definitely check out that video if you are interested in that side of things. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to comment any questions down below and I will do my best to answer them. Again, please make sure if you learned something new or you enjoyed this video to give it a thumbs up and make sure that you are subscribed because it really supports my channel. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.